Well, it happened. Finally, I'm able to tell this story without any of the PTSD, the suicide, the darkness, the noise, the hypocrisy, the contradictions, because when I'm confronting a contradiction or I disagree that that's reality, then I get to say, no, that's incorrect. I'm not going to sound loud or angry to be louder than the noise I hear, because you can't hear the noise I hear. The noise I hear is sensory, and so the way I dealt with it is with more sensory. You can't feel the, invisible pain, except it's pretty obvious if you ask me to do mental math, like calculating a tip. Try and meet up somewhere with a deadline, time, scheduling, getting around safely, direction, being able to talk freely, because the one thing I do notice is that I really don't want to be around a certain type of person. The certain type of person, anyone will take advantage of weakness, right? Or see what can be advantageous to them, I think is the right terminology. And without concussion or this experience, I would not have been able to really fully understand it. So the people that I want to give 100% thank you to are those associated with Stoop Life or Stoop. This is just sort of meeting people on the stoop of Chicago and seeing how people interact. And I have 2 rounds of it, just like the 2 rounds of assault, and then the repeated exposure to just a behavior that I really did not get. So I'm not going to say I'm naive or ignorant or dumb or just didn't get it. I simply was busy doing my work and avoiding television. And that's it. It's all around me now because I see the TV. And the time when I was with this person began in 2009 to the time when that ended, their attempts to, pretend that they're not doing something that I guess is pretty typical. I don't know how to define this anymore. I just know that the sensory overload is 100% gone. How do I know? I don't hear the buzzing. I don't have the memories and those good moments that adhere me to certain people, not thinking that they're taking advantage, but all the evidence suggests. The biggest one being, I'm talking about it, and there's boundaries now where they will not be let back in. Sorry, even if you acknowledge it, recognizing with a concussion, I'm way at a disadvantage, clearly. Every day, realizing every day is a new day. I can start deleting things in bulk and put together this linear storytelling, which I realize is just recreating the documents for data collection and worksheet templates to help explain what I'm doing. So there's several compositions at once. And when that happens, I knew that I would sort of be in a weird place where everything in the past is gone. Everything in the past is gone. Open or close a door because I'm anticipating that sound. Ask me to reach for something off the top shelf or the second to last top shelf. I'm not going to be able to do it. That's why things in my home were moved around so they were more manageable. And I did this privately for how many years? Except some of them did wanted to they were in my home weekly in some cases because I was providing them something that they claim were helping them. This is the emotional manipulation piece. How do you know if it's genuine? Well, I'm going to do a compare-contrast because I met people with genuine trauma and they just act different. Plus, I got to see it versus people that don't even do like an update with a happy thing. But I didn't get that with people. I had to learn that through charities because they got what they needed. Well, where's your update? Why wouldn't you let me know if I'm part of the team? The reality was it was just a big fat lie. And that explains the behavior and specialists and healthcare administration. So it's the same behavior. So they taught me what the school did. They did it for money, for greed, for status, to avoid questions, to just be accepted as honest people. And you believe them at their word. Before I get into just how much of the school lied, we need to accept that people lie, contradictions are common, and that's when you think something's amiss, something's wrong, because the body knows something's wrong. But we accept lies all the time. Except do we? I'm going to say we don't. People unleash all of their drama on other people, and that's what I'm saying. I no longer want to be the person that gets everything unleashed on. So walking away from gossiping groups is something I learned early on amongst gossiping adults, and I just didn't want to be in that space, so I walk away from it. So I literally create distance. I don't hear it as much. This behavior I had to relive again because me walking away from 2 women, putting down another woman who I will meet later. Don't forget about her. She is a true hero. amazing. And also, me hanging out with her was what created this phone call that I really got to listen to this person lie. And I decided to stay right there. I wasn't using my phone, I was using their phone. We didn't exchange numbers, had never exchanged numbers before. But I was modeling, listen, you can disagree with someone, so I disagree with you. That didn't happen that night. Let's start there. But this school lied so many times about what was offered or what could be offered to parents. For example, home care is a real thing. I would have been the teacher going to this person's home, cool therapies or teach academic skill set to students, because I did that my first year. Why wouldn't I? Single people can buy their own home.
Did not seem to be intended to be private conversations. So the Supreme Court said that their reasoning was that the law criminalized a wide range of innocent conduct. And they gave us examples: a loud argument on the street, a political debate on a college quad, yelling fans at an athletic event, any conversation loud enough that speakers can be heard.
I had to check in when I went home every night. Every night. I had to let somebody know that I was alive. Fucking night. But that's not that atypical. For my friends know my mom is pretty strict. And my dad, well, he doesn't think something's safe, like going to a country on your own, then the answer is you don't get to go. You know how old I am? That's kind of the point. That's when you have your siblings kind of talk for you and say, hey, it's this age now, gotta let her go. Anyway, thank you to everyone in my family who has helped me get this voice. I didn't get this out of the blue. I earned it by talking back to somebody, and that you can say things to this person and make them be around these types of, because
so this is why the hesitancy matters. It means something.
Unstable, emotional, irrational, just dumb, emotional, angry people. What bubbled out of me is definitely a methodology to help others. So I'm going to have a conversation, and I had a conversation yesterday regarding an artist who I was trying to politely say F off to, but there's no point. They are never going to connect, because I offered multiple times in the conversation. But at least I understood that she did know I was doing a blog or something. No interest to fully understand it. So how can this person give consent for me sharing the story that they're connected to? They can't, because they don't know what I'm doing. But this, unfortunately, is another stupid tactic. And this is why the initial contact was made, because of needing some help. Again, that word helper. So when someone describes you as a great helper, no, you just take advantage. So like sending in the thing you forgot to send. When some people just are like, well, I'm all about safety, then that's kind of where you know where to get people a car. Get it? Is this making sense? So the initial contact was made for help, and I said, listen, you cannot count on me to drop everything and help you. Oh, I wasn't asking for the amount of adrenaline coming out of me is so obvious now that I can see it and hear it. But maybe to others, it's not obvious, because maybe they really are in trauma. But those are questions I don't want to answer. I'm just posing. I don't know. It's so obvious. And it's obvious when you're using that behavior as an indicator that I don't follow up and hold that up against you. I'm in the moment, and absolutely I want to help. That's the whole point. My whole essence is helping. I say helping others helps me recover from traumatic brain injury. There's no more sooner way to say that, because I can't trust people, and it's unsafe for me to trust strangers. It's unsafe to trust people that you've known for decades too. Stupid ass weak people. And I say that kindly. That's the kind way to say it. Sociopathic, completely remorseless, insanely greedy. These are the things we fight against as a public school teacher, because the temptation is so easy when you can buy a kid with a pair of Air Jordans and join a gang, and now you own them. They're your pawn. You get to terrify their family and torture them mentally and psychologically with violence and threats and sex and drugs. Self-medication. Do it safely. Do it with people that are safe to party with. And I use that term because that just means go to the bar and not get messed with. That was quite the tangent. So the last word I said was drugs, and I went into self-medication. Drugs are depressants, and sometimes you need to depress the endocrine system. As I'm listening to this now, it's amazing to hear how my speech and how I hear things and how I respond to things in the moment. Reacting. The message I wrote on here was the response to a question. Would you guys ever go to parties together? You guys hang out together? Because I have older siblings where we never went to high school together. There's too much of an age gap. People that are safe to party with. That just means go to the bar and not get messed. And this is the response. And immediately I'm like, oh, I don't want to know more about this. Because when you say things that are kind of like, ugh, whoa, weird, you don't want to talk about it. So when people want to not talk about things, they'll bring up something or say something about someone that is intimate, sexual. But I do remember thinking, oh, well, that's strange. You had to rescue her. What an odd word to use in this scenario. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people will listen to that one word and pick up on that. And now the word and the fact that I started having hallucinations, literally, about this moment in particular, which is really funny to me. It's funny because it's a banana. I'm yellow on the outside, white on the inside, a banana or a Twinkie. Almost every day of my life, some sort of comment about my race being in Chicago. Every day. And that's why I'm so blessed for the 3 times I was with friends, because they don't understand what it's like. And all 3 times they said to me, oh my God, I didn't realize how bad it is. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of strange, isn't it? People don't know who you are and they assume you're somebody else and they're talking about you, and it's really weird. So I'm gonna write a funny scene of a rescuing at a party, okay? It's gotta be funny, otherwise it's horrendous. And then the question will be like, did this happen to you? No, it didn't. But I understand the implication of when you share things. No, I can be specific about who these people are because the behavior was, I don't wanna hear any more about this. And that was the behavior I saw over and over again. Don't talk to me about it. Okay, people have sensitivity levels for sure. And when you know them, you can absolutely use them to avoid questions. When you know what's in their heart, what's in their head, it's super easy. Pick up. We can't pick up the conversation like we used to. I used to always say that. Oh, we just pick up the conversation when we see each other. So I'm listening to this at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and I realize, again, this is too impossible to do very quickly, especially the scalawags out there. Things for describing stuff that nobody would have ever understood. So this is Neptune's previous family. They just live with 2 different codes. Money, talking about money, and yet having lots of someone else's money, but not having money. Who pays. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Is that it? Is it just about the money? I think so. Let's focus in on the money, the conversations about money. To remove focus money. On the right things. Give away the money way better. And also sharing love, feeling loveliness, love of others, being loved, lovable. That's basically it. When that noise, just cacophony of bleh happens, just know I'm layering it. I don't want to be exposed to this anymore. And yeah, I need to get it out. So step 1, get it out. But it's really inspired by them getting it out around me, talking about things. And then when you talk to other people, the contradictions. So what's best is to keep people separated. You isolate them so nobody knows the story. That's a really good strategy. Unfortunately or fortunately, the people that think this way let it out repetitively. And I was concussed and now I'm reliving it. So now diagnosed with PTSD, I'm like, well, what's the difference? The difference is these sensory memories on replay that won't let you go. But they will let you go once you acknowledge them. Put the story together one final time in order as I digitize my notes and get rid of all of it. All right, and I think 9 compositions will contain all of it. Not 109. Oof, that's a lot. I thought it was going to be 100. Hundreds and hundreds of writing. Nope. Hundreds and thousands of posts maybe, but not writing. Writing is just beginning. How you really want to write. I want to write how to help somebody get through something. That's it. God, these were perfectly good ways to explain all of it. Amazing. And I can guarantee you that it is not, well, it is hard to do, and yet it's not that hard to do when you fully understand what is happening. And I'm going to describe it to you, so there's no fear. I'm going to describe it to you because what we're going to be sharing and talking about is so important to the greater good in every single way imaginable. And I don't demean or diminish or limit or I don't know what the word is. I do not be dramatic. I'm not. What I'll be sharing is so obvious, and yet we're desensitized to it, but I wasn't, and I don't want to be. I want to be in shock because this is unacceptable, the way people treat each other. All right, we're going to have a conversation with somebody that knew me before, knew me during, and knew me after. Well, they're going to know me after. And this was somebody whose word I never truly understood what clout is, and yet now I get it. An artist, someone to instantly trust, instantaneously trust, you get it? And if not, then we'll find out very quickly. But don't lose the trust, because once you lose it, I really don't know how you get it back. In fact, I don't think you can get it back. So whatever I just posted, I have no recollection of. That's the scary thing. So I can look back and see what I posted, but I trust whatever I wrote in the minute is true. So this podcast intro is going to go with something I'll be utilizing, which is a 2-minute, 20-second video. That's for Twitter, obviously. And the reason I want to say it is to remind me. But also, if I am unsure when to do the time, because then you came over with this great apology, and I was so ready. Yes, the stress of it all, so that you respect.
All right, so it's the day after the phone call.
And now I was prepared for Chicago, so the everyday gratitude about being in Chicago when I was, of course, coming from Detroit back to Chicago on my own.
Or any other ways to help the methodology,
because I get so much work done on
what wasn't clear.
We're going to start with you, because your shit apology was the greatest apology ever given, and I use it as a model. And that's the word model. No, I'm not a model. I don't don't choose to be a model, and I'm not going to model anything except if you're watching me as I model. I can already predict everything you're going to. God put me with this family because I've already gone through something, and they're going through it, which is say it. I don't have the words for it yet, but when I get the word, they will bubble out of me, and that is the end of that. All right, thank you very much, everyone, and don't forget, moving forward, I am, and I shall, and I will definitely, absolutely never be able to not have PTSD, this biological uptick in my body that unless I am able to manage by talking, then it doesn't go away. So the opposite is me at 100% uncomfortable around you. And that's not an option either. So just know, I'd rather just do things on my own. I like to go to libraries. I like to sit quietly and observe, with the situation around me and really get ready to write and think I'm writing when I'm not, when I'm just sort of getting ready to write. Pre-writing could last days, weeks, months, years. How many years? But I think I'm there now. I think I'm going to put the sentences together in the proper order with the proper meaning every single time. Every sentence, every word matters, just like poetry, but different. Visually, it's not as important, just to be readable, and the purpose comes through at some point, right? Poetry, it's visual, auditory all the time, but it's a lot shorter typically than a novel. Then there's a short story or a novella. Consider writing one of those if you don't think you have the time. Check if you read novels. Do you have the stamina for a novel? Do you remember the characters? Because I've had people tell me they love reading, but they get confused. Well, then write it down as you go. Take notes. What else do you want to know about literacy, reading, literature, why we need to encourage the joy of reading, access to books, all of them, even the perverted sexual ones? Are they that bad when you think about the violence in some others? What about the swear words, the dialogue? Can't you hear this character say those words? Isn't that what is exciting? Because you're getting to know somebody else's ideas and imagination. So in that short little rant, I put away so much stuff. You have no idea. This school was called Elcott, based on Louisa May, a writer, a female writer. And we had a literacy coach, and that's when it was really clear that the teachers didn't want to do any extra work. Well, I already got that message. So whatever's easiest, give the A. I want to talk about the enjoyment of reading. When I went to England, I met the accountability officer of Morpeth Schools, and she showed me really good ideas that we should be doing in the state to make sure these schools are accountable. But would we ever do it? I don't know. Not when you have parents who want to be the cheaters, just like in my building. The residents are getting kickbacks, I was told, from the president. I don't have that evidence anymore, only the memory on replay because my body went into shock. But is that evidence? I don't know. The residents would have to say something. And that just seems like an impossible hill to climb, because why would you want to call out or get in trouble for something that's clearly wrong? So let's just focus on the behaviors. Lying, cheating, stealing time. Let's start with that one. Somebody else's ideas and imagination? Or is this too far gone? Are we too far gone for these conversations when it comes to creative writing, literature, imagination, and ending all of your own trauma with your own words instead of the self-harm and the harming of others, which is what I witnessed as a school teacher, and I'm done with it. So I'm offended. I just talked about offense. Now we have offense, defense. That's football. I'm sorry, but I watched so much football for a person because they said it was their mental health. But I also know it's not true. And how do I know it's not true? Because every couple years it'd be a little bit more to the story, a little more truth sharing, like desensitization. And that's why the Trump thing, it's just desensitizing us to something. I don't want to be too sensitive or not sensitive enough or whatever it is. No, I'm not going to be okay with it. People treating people horrible. It's not right.
And look what I found.
That was a volunteer thing.
Sponsor charity. I was definitely getting stuff done. Sticker. That's my name. Noonish. Open up business account. Oh yeah. Go to Northwestern. Impact Chicago. Records facts. That was from, I know that who that's from. She's awesome. More touch. And Black Parks Foundation. Everyone wants to get lunch. And they never follow through. Let's get lunch. Lost a lot of days. Oh my.
I'm crawling up the stairs. There's no elevator, then I'm not going. What do you mean? I have to go. I'm not going there because there's stairs. I can't do stairs. So they watched me. And then they acted like, oh, how are you? Oh my God, I'm so worried. You're not worried. I didn't have to come down here. But somebody needed me to be around all the time. They never went to work.
All that anticipation and dread I talked about with my students. All right, so the last word. Thank you, Lawrence O'Donnell, because I told somebody recently, no, I'm going to have the last word. What you do is dump a bunch of weird contradictions on on me and then I can't get in touch with you for how many fucking weeks and months? Do you think that's appropriate? I don't forget. So the past is in the past and I don't just pick up where we left off in these conversations of complaints. Every single person that I know that you know. Hell no. Now I got to go. If that's the body with anxiety, like, no, I don't think so. The neurologist wrote in social anxiety and I said it's cognitive because I have anxiety increasing and then when I go out it's the 1-2 punch combo. Why didn't you write that stuff down? I don't get it. So which doctors write accurately? And we're going to be talking about Doc X.
And then it was directly to the actual doctor who was creating the anxiety because I said, this is, I said the F word. I said, this is fraud. I'm telling you, you're creating it because I don't trust what you're saying because I go to these mediations or meetings with the CTU and they tell me what you write and what you write is exact opposite of what I say in these sessions. And then I reached out to the neurologist, didn't respond, told me to take the medication. I'm like, how can I take the medication when I'm 89 pounds, 86 according to your notes? Really unsafe to be that. Yeah, but hey, a neurologist, they don't think about those things. So is that the race part because I'm Asian? This is the thing I don't get. Why wouldn't you weigh someone when it comes to dosage, or you just really don't care? Like, you don't care to do a good job. You don't care to help people. You don't want to kill them. So when I said, yes, I have suicide, and this is why, this anxiety. This is what I do to reduce the anxiety. I think about the group therapy that is only keeping me alive. That's it. Suicide. I get it. Now I'm going to share it.
Because he is the doc. Seriously, they talked about blood and talked about brainwashing, and I literally got through brainwashing today. It's in the new podcast. Please listen to it. Thank you.
I'm picking and choosing random stuff here. Concussion. No, these are just pictures. Where is the page? So I can close that down. Downloads I do need. Whatever I just open, I'm just going to maintain by keeping it up. Don't forget. Okay, pages. Oh, I get it because it's not. Which one is like a lesson plan? Letters, resumes, flyers, and posters, cards. No way. You can print cards. Wow, you can do lots of stuff. Okay, I didn't know all that. Book landscapes, not a lesson plan. Well, I bet I have one in my email. Let's go to email. You can see just how much it is an issue, and yet it's gotten so much better. Well, where is it? Really? The Safari bar won't come up? Well, where is it?
September, the day, this was me. I remember volunteering at the Pride Fest. So that was 2020, Pride Fest, Jackson Park. That had to be. Why else? Or perhaps that was the Parks Foundation. For September's October. So this is October. So I went to see the consent group in October the 1st. Whatever that first.
This is so much faster. My right side is not hurting. At this point, it probably would. Whew, I can use this machine that vibrates for my feetsies if I need it. I'm good though. Template. I know it's going to be in here. Template lesson plan. Yup, lesson plans. Fuck them. Oh my God. Decoding lesson plan. PT with Aurora Healthcare, it was right side using the mouse. So it was the combination of what I'm creating and then the physical movement of the mouse. I am going to eventually put together all the tools that have helped me get through this injury. And I think it's called Metaspa. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm listening to what I was writing and I can hear it. It's just, I'm excited to be sitting and able to do work for longer. Excuse me, had to get up. And I just use my voice to stop the pain from radiating, but it's a lot less. So you don't hear it as much in my voice. It's a block plan. Wow, I wrote it like a block plan. Big idea lesson plan. Whoops, download it.
So I'm going to put together these pieces of paper. They're going to contain stuff from my past, and you're going to take the burden off. You can put them together if you want. It's just the stuff that I created with all of the adrenaline and explanations. All right. All my words. Again, so just the fine motor, right? Doing the motion. What I write there, the yellow, that's Northwestern Memorial Hospital. You want to take some of the weight off of this? That's what we do. This is the philosophy and the spirit of the open mic. We're going to take the burden off of you for just one night. Let's go.
So that means I probably won't be able to open it because I need to be in Pages. How did I download that? That's right. I used Word back then, Microsoft. That's right. All of it. I remember all of it. I can get rid of these visuals. Documents because it worked, so I just had to close the computer down. Oh my God, it's over. I wrote it again. 14 minutes. Week 1. Oh my God. Well, it doesn't look
day
the same.
1,
it's not as
and there's
pretty,
going to be
5
days in a week.
There'll be
3 weeks. Okay.
Big idea.
Before I even do
Lesson
that,
plan.
table of
Lesson
need.
Big idea.
I need
Part
a
1.
person.
Hello.
Nope.
Table of content. Day 1. This is not that hard. Week 1, day 2. Teaching is not rocket science, and yet I fucked up already. 10 total. 4. 15 total. Okay, I have to actually add. Week 1, day 5. 15. I had to do 10 more. Week 2, day 1. Get it? It's the days of the week, and we're not including holidays. We don't do that. Not now. If there's a holiday, then you just, move back a day. 4. So you can do it any single time. You have it all ready for go. 3. 1. I counted wrong. 1. Nope. 3. Then 2. 3. Then 3. 3. Then my brain hurts. 4. 3. 5. And then we'll just do a presentation day. Week 1. We'll put the weeks in a color. Ooh, a different shade of gray. How about that? I like the color gray. All right. And then the days we're going to put in a blushy color, and we have the purpose. So we'll put that in. Doesn't have to be quite as large. We'll just do 12 font. This has to be much bigger. Table of contents, and we're going to do everything in typewriter. To remove this person using this excuse, this is my first time. I never was taught, then whatever it is. Morality, politeness, I'm not joking. Never was taught self-control. I never was taught this. This is my first time. This is my first time seeing them fight. My first time seeing the rudeness. Like, what are you talking about? We've been talking about this since the beginning. But that's it. So I am recording a first time and I'm putting together my lesson plan. I'm glad I listened to it because I forgot that I created it. So let me go find it and find an easier way to label it, locate it, and work on it every day. Because that's what I was doing something on the technology every day to remove the trauma created by technology. That's what you gotta do, confront it. Rubric attached. Jesus poopy. Okay, italicize. Great. I'd rather say just random words than nothing at all or repeat what I said before. So if you hear that, then that's table of contents, weekday, title, purpose, presentation, rubric attached. Out of 100. We do have this now, right? We're not going to do harm to you. We're going to teach you something. And I'm doing it like a block plan to get rid of Blockbuster. That's something from the war.
To be in shock by Trump is to not learn the lesson. So what is the lesson we're supposed to learn? Thankfully, I have inside information because I went into the belly of the beast, saw it behind the scenes, lived behind the scenes, and they all talked about it openly. So I'm just going to reshare verbatim as I put together a methodology. At the same time, the waiting to do this was to recover fully so I don't spiral, both physically and mentally, emotionally. Because what I learned with PTSD, with chronic pain, with nerve radiculopathy, is that it all connects. It all connects in a way that I can never ever describe until, I had to remove some people or create boundaries. Because they are what I like to call TT, triggers and trauma. Because I want to remove that language, that word. I want to change the language and remove those words because they're too jarring, too, sensitive. And for those that are desensitized, they just accept what happened in the healthcare system. I will not, never accept
them at their word. But this school lied so many times about what was offered or what could be offered to parents. For example, home care is a real thing. I would have been the teacher going to this person's home, cool therapies, or teach academic skill set to students, because I did that my first year. Why wouldn't I? Single people can buy their own home. Now, you gotta let her go. Anyway, thank you to everyone in my family who has helped me get this voice. I didn't get this out of the blue. I earned it by talking back to somebody and learning that you can say things to this person and make them STFU because they talking weird. They're bullies and they make fun of people and it's horrendous to be around these
So this is why the presidency matters. It means something.
Unstable, emotional, erratical.
The first thing they must do is go upstairs and talk.
I'm crawling up the stairs. There's no elevator. Cancel that. Facebook. That's it. All right. I bet you I have one in my old email. Let's begin. It's no longer there. Okay. So who just that was yes the pre-writing. Now the message. Who gets the automatic A-OK? Hi. This will be the last message. Artists do for One, sure. We are definitely not friends. Why do artists do? 2, I'm sharing the story. They're already in support of the arts, which is for everyone.
Keep the letter.
Right? You would assume,
but it's not
no,
for
that's
you. It
actually
was not a
true.
message for you.
Did you know
that he's a
that's
late
not
bloomer.
true?
Forgive him. Forget it. I'm not having these conversations with either of you anymore. And my life got instantly better. I just want to say,
25 minutes.
give me back my letter or not. But I am going to start letter writing. And without
So we're
that
gonna
piece,
put that
I
here.
can't do a good job.
And I
Because
think we're
it's the
gonna start
noise that is
over.
blocking my ability to sit and focus, which I can do very well. Because I turned off all of the noise from non-consent starting at age blank.
I bet you I have one in my old radical.
The first thing they must do is go upstairs and talk.
I'm crawling up the stairs. There's no
Hell
elevator.
no. Yeah,
pretty sure
everyone
that
has
that's already
trauma.
in there, so we're
Nobody
good.
was
So
expecting
I'm going to tell the story by the
for
first
me to
group of
share
people in
mine.
Chicago. Getting close to the edge of who I'm speaking about is sort of the problem, and at the same time, nobody's going to know who I'm talking about. As I listened to this, I realized that's up in the podcast, and I couldn't hear a lot of it. But I trust every word I say, and everything I share is part of the recovery process because I'll hear it later in the 1-2 punch combo. So you get it out, then you listen and reflect if you can sit in that space and understand why was it there. And then once you understand why, you can transform it. That's it. The decision is the transformation. The decision to say, no, thank you. Stay away from me. My big
And that will
idea.
really
So there you
listen
go.
and
You want to know my
understand
ideas? That's what you
Because I'm going to explain it, and anyone can just now
thanks.
pretend. So I need to know who's
Right,
for
Ives?
reals.
So bits and pieces
And that's why you met
all over
him.
the
He's for
universe
real.
as I add more and more and get rid of stuff.
Not a predatory
okay, so
bone
that's
in
how you
his
can
body.
listen to it. You can listen to whatever you
Like
want.
the
right
other
now.
one. Yeah, right.
I do not care.
Whoopsies, I
I'm
just
gonna
missed
see
all
no
the
one. These are my
flags.
notes.
Because you weren't my
And
friend.
that's why it's over.
That's why I say my
For
friends. They told me
reals.
after the divorce that they thought he was going to murder me.
This just came up recently. Again, the comments. We thought he was going to murder you. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Can you give me examples? Well, the isolation. This is like textbook. I'm like, well, I didn't know this was textbook. You don't watch true crime? No, why would I watch that? Anyway, I'm listening to this, and yeah, it could be like this forever. No wonder people want to kill themselves because it never is going to end. Well, let's just end it. Let's end the PTSD and get people back to their lives and productive and citizens and normal. Thank you. I'll admit it, I wasn't normal for a while, but I trusted it was temporary. And I was right. Thank goodness. Woohoo! Faith will get you through everything. That you're not supposed to be worthless. Your life has purpose. That's why all this stuff has to now go away.
I have to turn it off.
Can't take it anymore. What is this? Art and wine festivals. Oh, these people.
First thing in order to record film is being able to hear your voice. So because I'm recording film and
Yup,
editing
I
it,
don't know.
that means I can hear my voice, not just putting things together as quickly as possible.
Nope, I'm just there
So
for you
that's
as
the
a teacher.
difference. So we'll see if
anytime
there's
you
a
want. I
significant
cannot
change in the
take it.
quality
And I'm gonna
and
share
the
it. Cannot take it. Okay, and that's not
and
Since I'm watching
the audience's
this, I'm listening
ability
to self.
assess
So
what
we
I'm
got
saying.
rid of that. Thank
And
God.
also to assess their own understanding. Thank you.
That's the thing that stuck with me. The person that said, I wish I could give you impact to take away the pain, that equal impact. I thought, yeah, that's really smart. So I started visualizing this wall, a brick wall that I was building in the distance, and I'm on a track running around like a hamster on a wheel, right? Over and over, around and around. Not making any progress until I decide to slam into that wall and get that impact. Thank you for your words, guys. I appreciate it. In the last 2 minutes, what I would like to add is how art was the outlet, how art became the physical outlet of remembering to let whatever's inside outside and make it 3-dimensional, and then digitize it back into 2-dimensional. So we're transforming it over and over and over again. Just like we are reliving the transformations that individuals did over time to basically use mental health, I don't know, this hatred of difference, this connection to being perfect, and then bullying your own kids, which I saw a bunch in the school system, as well as academic discrimination against the most at-risk vulnerable population. This is a no-brainer for me, and at the same time, it's taken every effort to remain here. I'm going to show the art and artist. Words do something to me in the second poem. Also, the number 17, because I finally got an answer from the property manager who was never here, never responding, and admitted to not looking at all the tickets. The management or the company saw this and decided to promote him after there was an outbreak of COVID. I got on the board of directors, and from the day one, they talked about better cleaning, and then we have COVID, where cleaning and sanitation is, the best thing to do to avoid death and disease. Anyway, It's just heartbreaking to think that at every step of the way, I was waiting for one act of kindness to end major decisions by people in positions of power. How naive and dumb was I? But also, okay, let's move through that. I accept it. I did not get it, but I am so grateful for all the individuals who did share exactly what they do. All right, and the most gratitude goes to them. When you have a vulnerable person who doesn't quite get it, but also is willing to just accept, okay, well, I don't really get this behavior, but there must be something going on to define it. That's kind of what I'm focusing on. I don't know if this makes sense, but I just know that the next step is to say thank you. I'm still thinking about those thank you notes because I threw a birthday party for someone and wanted to end it with a thank you note, and they didn't allow me to do it. It's the strangest thing. Like, why can't we just deliver these to these people's homes or your friends and neighbors to support a severely, profoundly disabled child? And I had to be in the same space to be polite to the person abusing the child? Huh? Anyway, a lot of confusion. We'll get there. Thank you.